Hey everyone, it's Steven. Today I've got the 2021 Audi Q3 Premium. This is in the gorgeous Tango Red metallic color. I am in Chicago, Illinois. I rented this from National Car Rental at ORD for a quick weekend trip in the Windy City, and I wanted to give you guys a quick review of this car. The Audi Q3 is Audi's smallest SUV that they offer. This is in the subcompact luxury SUV class, which is getting a lot more popular in the United States for people who realize they still want an SUV, but not even as large as something like the Q5 or the X3. This is actually significantly smaller than that. It actually almost looks like a sedan in some ways. Audi fully redesigned the Q3 in the 2019 model year, and I've got the 2021 here. Not any huge changes on the outside or anything like that, but on the interior you do have a few more standard safety features which were really well appreciated here. So what I have here is the Premium trim, which is actually the lowest one. So as most Audi models, that has the Premium as the lowest, then Premium Plus above that. This one actually doesn't have the Prestige. The Prestige is actually only on some other vehicles like the Q5 and the Q7. They got rid of that, I believe, in 2020. In addition to the trim choices, you have two engines to choose from. You've got the weaker 40 and you've got the stronger 45. Both of these use a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. The 40 has 184 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque. The 45, on the other hand, has a stronger output at 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. What we've got here is the weaker 40, unfortunately. This is actually a pretty bare-bones model, which I was kind of disappointed by, but you've got the 40 and also the Premium trim. So pretty much the only upcharge on this was actually the color here, which is a $595 upcharge. So the Premium trim with the 40 engine starts at $34,000 as MSRP. Pretty low, about the same price as some of the competitors in the segment like the X1, the Mercedes GLA, Cadillac XT4, Lexus UX. You can kind of go on and on. There's a lot of different cars that are emerging in this very competitive segment, but this one is not priced too differently. So the one I have here, MSRP is for about $35,000. When you take it to the next engine, which is the 45, that MSRP is for about $36,000. With some of the packages that you can get, which I really would recommend getting to make this car a little better than it currently is, you can get up to sticker prices of about $45,000 if you want to get a Premium Plus with the 45 engine. No matter which engine or trim choice you end up getting, an 8-speed automatic transmission is standard, as well as Audi's famous Quattro all-wheel drive. Alright, so let's talk about the exterior of this car. In the full redesign in 2019, Audi did a pretty good job adding the new design language. As you can see, these slats that kind of run vertically are what Audi is going for in every one of their models, right? You've got that in the Q3, Q5, and the Q7 now as well. And I think it looks pretty bold. I like it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite choice. When I first saw it, I definitely had some doubts about it, but I think seeing it in person and the more I see it on the road, I do think it looks better than the previous generation. You've also got some LED headlights. You can get full LED headlights and turn signals in a different option, but this one, as you can see, only has the LED daytime running lights and the normal headlights there. The front fascia in general, you've got some interesting kind of slats on the side, which I do like. They kind of add a little bit to the boldness of this car, and you can get the black optics package, which blacks out a lot of this vehicle, the side caps and stuff like that, but overall I think the normal appearance of this car is still impressive and looks better than the X1 and some of the other competitors in my opinion. You've also got 18-inch wheels. These are standard. These are just silver 5-arm wheels here. Nothing too fantastic about them, but honestly I do think these look pretty good. The appearance definitely is more than I would expect from something that starts about $34,000. Kind of going along the side of the car, you've got some pretty standard Audi body lines here. Nothing really to write home about, but I still do like the color. I feel like the color really pops. Like I said in the beginning, this is the Tango Red metallic color, and I was very surprised to find this at an airport rental car facility, so I was really happy to take that. Going to the back here, you've got, like I said in the SQ5 video, I love the sequential turn signals. That is honestly by far my favorite part of Audi products in general. I just think it looks super cool. I love the way that it continues to kind of persist throughout their lineup, and they do a good job kind of integrating in with the sleek design of the rear. Continuing on here, you can take a look here into the trunk. This is powered, it's a power liftgate, and that's standard, which is pretty impressive. You've got 23.7 cubic feet of cargo space, which is not bad, a little cramped compared to some of the other competitors. You've also got underneath here, spare tire, and you have some interesting storage spaces on the side here. Now checking out the interior, when I first got in the car, I was very impressed with the amount of screens that you can immediately see. The real estate is very impressive, and I do think the interior looks a lot better than a $34,000 car kind of suggests. Going in though, honestly, it's pretty standard. The seats, they're supportive, I like them, but I really wish the Nappa leather that was on the SQ5 I drove recently was also an option on this car. Unfortunately, it is not. You do have some standard leather upholstery, so the car does give off a lot of luxury vibes, which I really, really like. The typical Audi wheel does look really good, and I will say that I honestly think that the steering wheel is the best feeling one, you know, in general out of all of the luxury brands. I do think my current Lexus, my daily driver, I do love the steering wheel on that, but this is a very close second. Otherwise, going to the door panels, you do have a decent amount of hard touch plastic and stuff like that. And you know, but you do have some nice leather and everything kind of along the sides. You have one touch for all of the windows, no memory seating, but you do have power adjustable front seats for both the driver and the passenger. And you've also got like lumbar and all of the, you know, typical things on the side. Heated seats are also standard on this, which is pretty cool. I do think Audi offers a lot in the standard package, but there are some critical things missing. And to give you a hint, it's partly because I am currently sticking a key into the ignition, which I haven't done in many, many years. But anyways, back to the actual interior. I do think the quality is pretty good, and it looks impressive. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, once you see all those screens and you get in the car, everyone who has been in this car has commented that it looks incredible. The back seats are very similar. They are a bit cramped, as you can probably sort of tell from this angle. I do have the seats pretty far back, but this car does sit 5. I wouldn't say comfortably, but it does seat 5 passengers. Getting to the rear of the vehicle is not difficult. It is a bit cramped, like I mentioned before, but really pretty standard in these segments. So like I said, it does feel pretty comfortable back here. Oh, there's a bug. And you do still have the similar leather upholstery here. So the chrome, I think, does look pretty good. I think it makes it kind of look luxurious, at least more than the price tag would suggest. You do have a full pano sunroof, which is pretty exciting for a car in this price segment. Otherwise, the rear seats are pretty well appointed. You do have some climate control vents here. Unfortunately, this car is only standard with dual zone automatic climate control, so you can't really control the temperature back here, but you can control whether or not you want cool or hot air. You also do have 2 USB-C ports here and an outlet. All right, let's jump into the tech, which is pretty much a highlight of every Audi vehicle you'll ever step foot in these days. So right at a glance, you can see you've got this nice 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster. I was actually really confused because this is not the same thing as the 12.3-inch Audi virtual cockpit. This is actually only on, it's standard, but it is only on the Premium. And when you step up to the Premium Plus and get the technology package, you can actually get the really, really configurable virtual cockpit. This one, not so configurable. You can display a few different things, but pretty much this is all you're limited to. It's kind of funny because you have the exact same buttons, like the view button, but all it does is either show nothing or you know, CarPlay or something like that. So really not as exciting as the virtual cockpit with the full navigation view as well. You've also got this cool kind of you know, not a screen really, but you know, it looks very high-tech. Unfortunately, this is a fingerprint magnet, as you can imagine, but you know, otherwise it does look pretty high-tech, and you can choose your you know, your different auto headlights here. And there are some buttons here because obviously I have the base trim and I'm missing some of the cool features. You've got the 8.8-inch touchscreen here, which has the MMI infotainment system. This is my first time actually using the newly updated one, and it is really, really nice. This is far better than the previous, you know, the SQ5 that I drove in St. Louis. I mean, this is just, it's so much more responsive. The buttons are really large, and they're very easy to click on, and everything here is extremely responsive, and I was very impressed by this. This is definitely by far the best part of this vehicle, I would say. In the Q3, it looks impressive. You know, like, you do have a lot of screen real estate. When you go to Apple CarPlay, this car looks really, really good, as I will demonstrate right here. You can see that CarPlay actually takes up almost the entire screen. You do have some unused area on the sides, but otherwise it looks really good for a base model. The most impressive part to me is the resolution. It looks very high quality. Audi has really found a great balance between a fantastic responsive touchscreen and really good hard buttons. I think Audi really nailed it here. You've got you know, hard buttons for your climate controls and things like drive select, you know, traction control, all that sort of stuff. You normally have a button for your 360 camera and your automatic parking assist there. And you've also got a USB-A and a USB-C port here as well. You have some storage here. The wireless charging pad would be there if you have that option as well. But otherwise, like I said, the tech here is impressive. Everyone who walks into this thinks it is much more expensive than a $34,000 car. So, unfortunately, I want to talk about the things that I really do not like about this car. And kind of hinted at this earlier, but how does a 2021 Audi not come with push-button start? It actually baffles my mind. I think, it's such a ridiculous thing in this day and age. I feel like there's just, obviously the button for push to start is very clearly missing. And you've got a normal key here. In a way, it was kind of interesting for me because I just haven't used a key in so long. But overall, push button start should really be standard at this point. And it's still not standard on the 2022 Audi Q3, which I find very ridiculous. Beyond that, you don't have keyless entry on the door handles, which is also definitely a dissatisfier, but I wouldn't say it's that uncommon. I do know some other cars where keyless entry is not standard on the base model. Looking around the cabin, you're also missing a few of the luxury goodies like ambient interior lighting, which, I understand that's probably not on the base model for a lot of other competitors as well. You are missing blind spot monitors, standard, and also rear cross traffic alert is not standard as well. Adaptive cruise control, you gotta get the Premium Plus with the technology package. So overall, my thoughts on this are that the tech looks impressive at first glance, and I do love the infotainment. I definitely think this is much better than some of the competitors. And overall, the cabin is laid out very nicely, but I would definitely opt for the Premium Plus trim and also upgrading with the technology package. So driving the 2021 Audi Q3 Premium over the last weekend has been pretty comfortable. It's not anything that will stand out in the segment, honestly. A lot of the other luxury subcompact SUVs are going to be just as comfortable, but I will say it's pretty agile. It's a bit more than you would expect. Not as good as something like the X1, but still, definitely a bit more fun than you would kind of expect. It handles very surprisingly well, kind of going around some of these sharper curves and stuff like that. You definitely get a sense that this is not actually an SUV. It feels more sprightly, kind of like a smaller sedan or something like that. Otherwise, cabin noise, pretty minimal. It's definitely not the best in this segment though, and kind of same thing with road noise. The ride quality is a bit more on the firm side because of the tires. The 18-inch tires aren't going to be the best thing at absorbing the bumps and everything, but they are better than the 19-inch. I've heard that upgrading to the better tires actually kind of makes the ride a lot more firm and less pleasant. As you can kind of tell, one of the biggest things about the Audi Q3 is the fact that everything is very well balanced. That's kind of the name of the game really for Audi. They excel in the tech area, and then when it comes to actually driving dynamics, at least for their non-S/non-RS models, it kind of is just right in the middle, right? You're kind of in between how Mercedes kind of edges a bit more luxury and BMW edges a bit more sporty. And I think a lot of people like that, right? You've got some nice, bold styling changes over the last few years for Audi, but overall, it's still definitely more on the modest side, right? It's not as flashy as a Mercedes AMG or anything like that, right? Definitely not as flashy as BMW with their crazy grills these days. And I think that is what a lot of people are looking for, and Audi has filled a pretty good niche in that area. I did want to mention the acceleration. So it is a bit sluggish. You've definitely got some turbo lag, which a lot of other people have mentioned in their reviews. This 40 engine goes 0 to 60 in 8.6. Definitely not good numbers in this segment. The 45 bumps it up to about 7.3 seconds, so definitely something that people will prefer. Overall, this represents a very good value in this segment. I think for $34,000, the base premium model with the 40 engine is pretty impressive, right? You see the interior, and that looks just as good as some of the upgraded models for some of the other competitors. I really think that you do want to go for the Premium Plus 45 engine, though, because that peaks at about $45,000 and will get you all the features like the surround view camera and more interesting tech features like the larger 10.1-inch touchscreen as well. Alright, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today in this review. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to see more content, you can check out my other videos here, and otherwise subscribe down here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks everyone.